Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Good morning, I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And are we just plain
We're
living?
plain living. That's all. We ain't special living. We're plain living.
There's nothing plain about you. John, look at you, all decked out in red. I love it.
Hey, all
Absolutely.
time's coming around.
I like John's hat a lot.
You know
I do
what? I wrote this, and the reason I've got this hat on today is I wrote this for Jerry Fox.
Oh, Jerry the bass
Jerry
player?
Fox is a bass player friend of ours, and he had a bowler hat. He always wears a hat.
Yeah, I loved his hat, yeah.
But he had a black bowler hat on for the country show, and he always has some kind of hat on. It's either a little front cap. Of course, a lot of bass players will take one of those little caps and turn it around backwards. That's a bass player thing, I guess. And sometimes he'll have a rag on his head. It just depends. Jerry doesn't have a whole lot of hair. So this is for Jerry Fox. Short hair, long hair, no hair at all. It matters not when the gentleman is topped with a proper chapeau. So that's for Jerry Fox.
That's for
right
Jerry,
there.
good.
Yeah. And this one is after last week's football game.
Tullahoma football
Yep.
game? Okay.
Hit him, chop him down, knock his head off, shout the Friday night fans from the stands. At times in life, you just can't be nice. Winning often requires a few criminals. That is,
I don't know what to think about
And
that.
what do you
John.
mean by
I
that
don't know what that
exactly?
means.
we used to have some you just got to have that. Football's a mean game,
Of course it is.
and you can't be nice
Yeah.
and win that game. You got to have some criminal. You got to have some. You know, I played for Milner Carden at East Junior High School, and we never lost a football game in 3 years. And no, I think we lost one. And we had a bunch of boys from the Dossett homes over there, and that was back when the east side of town wasn't a cool place to be. It rough. They'd come to school, come to football practice with cigarettes rolled up in their T-shirts.
Yeah, I remember that.
You'd have to go get them out of jail to play football on Friday night sometimes. And we never lost a football game because they were mean. They were street smart and mean. I remember when Jacob was a junior, and he was playing linebacker and fullback and tight end and defensive end, and Chad Brinkley and Max Trail got suspended for the first game of the year for getting in a bar fight.
Bar fight.
In high school,
Yeah.
fighting two grown men. And that was the year that we went undefeated until Oklahoma High School.
Well,
Sometimes you just got to have mean people.
It does take that kind of mentality to some extent.
Need a couple criminals.
I remember
every
UT
now and then.
several years ago, and Eddie Smith, I see in the audience, probably remembers this, but it was back in Fulmer's era when he was coaching, and he had a really good team that year, in early 2000s, I'm guessing, but he had sort of a rash of that, you know. It was like, who's going to be in jail this week, and who's going to get to play? So,
Okay, great.
you know, but
Well,
they were good football players.
When I was up there were two linebackers, Kiner and Reynolds.
Kiner and Reynolds, I
that were
remember them
both
well.
All-American.
Right.
And they just walk into a bar up there in Knoxville and stand up on a table and say, "Come on, anybody, all of you, come on." And they'd have to go get them out of jail, but they're just mean.
I don't know whether this is true or not, but they call Reynolds Hacksaw,
Yeah.
if you remember, and supposedly because he cut up somebody's car with a with a hacksaw.
Well, Chip Cale was the center
I
up
remember
there,
that.
All-American center, and I can't remember the boy from Columbia that had played up there as well. He was the one who knocked 4 people out in the football game we played Columbia. Well, I was living up on 17th, and I'm walking down the hill. I was living up on the top of 17th, walking down the hill to go to class, and here comes Chip Cale and James Woody,
Yeah.
up the hill with 2 sledgehammers. And I said, "Hey, Woody, what are you doing?" He said, "We're looking for a kicker." We're looking for his car, and they said, "There it is right there, and it's parked on the side of the road." And I thought, I came back that afternoon and it was beat plumb down. It was a little like a Austin Healey spot. It was beat down to the ground.
Oh, goodness.
And I thought, what did they need those sledgehammers for?
Yeah.
You know, they could have just, they could have.
Did you turn them in?
Oh,
Why not?
Why not? Why would
not?
I?
I mean,
They'd have
right.
killed
Get in the
him.
way of that? They'd be, my car would have been the next one.
Yeah.
Just mean.
Yeah.
Just mean. You got to have a little mean streak every now and then.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I'll guarantee you they get on those, you know, the National Football League, they're trying to make all of these guys into, you know, gentlemen. You have to, when you're not on the football field, you have to be a gentleman. But when you're on the football field, they want you to be a thug. You just can't flip that switch on and off that easily. You know, most of those
Excuse
guys.
me if I doze off, but
Yeah.
I just don't always get it.
Well, most of those guys.
I think you responded really well, Peggy. You're doing really well.
Most of those guys come from really tough places.
Yeah, I guess so.
And their only way out of that tough place is to be a good athlete.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
yeah.
difficult to make that cultural change for a lot of people. Don't you think? You think so, don't you?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Hey,
Because I think a lot of them are really good guys.
they are, but they're tough. Got to be tough. There's something going on this week that the Saturday the 25th. There's a young lady named Monica that works at London's, and she's been in the food service business for a long time. She's worked at a lot of places, and she is having a real bad time. She has stage 4 pancreatic cancer,
Oh, goodness.
and has young children.
Wow.
And she's a great mother and sister and friend, and they're having a fundraiser at London's on the 25th, Miracles for Monica. And there'll be silent auctions from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m., live auction at 7 p.m. And this is pretty cool. They're gonna have an old school Nintendo Street Fighter game contest. So everybody who's a gamer, there we are right there, Miracles for Monica. If you can't make it up there, she has a GoFundMe page and a Facebook page, or just stop by London's and leave a donation, because, you know, that's what's so wonderful about
very
living.
young.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she is.
Pancreatic cancer.
Living in a small
Wow.
town is, you know, we take care of each other. And this Tullahoma, look at that picture right there. That's a sad situation. But, you know, we're benevolent. We care for each other and do a lot of fundraising things to help people. And this is one of those times that if you have a little spare money, this is a really good thing to
It is.
face it.
Absolutely. I know about pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So,
Peggy, I read somewhere that you were giving up, turning over the reins to South Jackson Ghost Country.
Well, I kind of am more overseeing now. I have 3 young chicks that help me a lot, and they're cute and they're fun, and they've got a lot of pizzazz.
and smart.
Yeah.
Because of course it would take at least 3 to replace me. You know?
well, of course.
And a round of applause from the Peanut Gallery back there.
Absolutely. Every now and then they play an important part of what we do out here. The guys
Yeah,
in the
they do.
band.
They do.
So are you kind of doing this gradually over a couple of years, or?
Yeah, next year's our 40th, and
Yeah.
I will see it through that at least.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I might drop dead any day now, but it'll go on. I can't say I'm totally prepared for that.
Right.
I'm not looking forward to dropping dead on the spur of the
Well,
moment.
we hope not. We certainly hope not.
You won't.
We certainly hope not.
You'll be over there on a walker or in a wheelchair going like this.
You know, and I missed.
That's not the bright beat.
I missed a couple of weeks here, and I noticed that also Peggy was featured on the cover of Tempo.
Yeah,
at
how
one
did that
point.
happen?
Well, because you're an important person.
You're a
I'm very
superstar.
proud
It's
of you.
because I'm old and alive.
Old and alive. That'll get it
No, that was
done.
very kind. That was
Yeah,
very
it
kind
was.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But the country show was great. We're gonna have a little segment with something on it about that today, and Tullahoma High School football is being played. Obviously, played Shelbyville last week. This week is the Coffee Pot.
Yes, it
Coffee
is.
County's coming to town, and that's
a
probably
big deal,
the
yeah.
biggest rival that
I
probably
know.
either town has is
and has
is the
been
Coffee
for
Pot.
what?
Forever, because I
50
graduated.
something years,
I
60
graduated
years,
from
maybe
Coffee
forever,
County,
we don't
and,
know.
you
There was a
know,
coffee pot game then,
Yeah.
It
wasn't
was a
there?
coffee pot
Yeah,
game
so
then. It was
right.
really a big deal.
Shows you
Yeah.
how long
I mean,
that's
we
been.
lived our lives to beat Tullahoma. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, it's still that way.
Yeah.
It's still that way, and it goes through spells of there being a little bit of meanness involved in that too.
A bit,
Yeah.
You know, they'll paint something, or I think a couple of years ago they found some kind of a cat and hung it on the goalpost.
Oh yeah, that.
You know, that was
3 or 4
kind
years ago, I think.
that was kind of cruel, but
We don't think they killed it. Just do we?
I don't know.
We don't
I
know.
didn't see it,
Yeah,
so
okay.
I ain't in it.
Right.
There's Winston Brooks
But
out
it is
there.
an
Good morning,
exciting
Winston.
time.
I love it when
Brooks.
Winston comes.
I do too. He knows stuff. He always
He does know
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Winsome
I don't care what you
Winston.
what the topic. If you ask
The
Winston,
wisdom
he
of
knows.
Winston.
There you go.
Yes,
That's
right.
good.
Exactly.
Or Winston's wisdom. That's a segment on today's show.
We should have a segment
Called
called
The
that.
Wisdom
Yeah.
of Winston.
Yeah.
Send in your questions.
Right.
Send in your questions, Winston.
He'll give a wise answer.
He'll give a wise answer. You need some money, he'll write you $1,000.
Right.
He does a great job.
He does an excellent
We're
job.
very fortunate. To
Very
have him.
proud of Winston and what he's taken that job to. He's taken that job to another level.
You know, and Tullahoma has a lot of intelligent people in it. So if you don't know the answer to something, you can always
You can find
one.
somebody that
Yeah.
knows the answer.
Somebody, they think
Yeah,
they do.
They think they
sometimes.
do. But
You know, my daughter graduated. My daughter and I used to do Tennessee Traveler.
Right.
And John does it now, and they're so busy now they don't really have time to talk about stuff.
Right.
But back then, from time to time, we would have to get
talk.
get
Kill time.
pillars and kill some time and stuff like that. Well, she graduated from Tennessee Tech with a degree in chemical engineering, and I always kidded her on the show about her not knowing anything about football. And so I would ask her questions about football, and she didn't know most of the time. One day I asked if the audience would help her, and so I asked her some question about Tennessee football. And immediately there were a number of responses came in on the phone. We were live, that show's
Yeah.
live, and answered the question. And she thought she really had me, because she asked me some complicated question that had to do with chemical engineering. And I said, I bet you that I can answer that. And I think she forgot that we live in Tullahoma, and there's lots of engineers in Tullahoma. And she asked me that question, and immediately there were 3 or 4 people called
I love
up
it.
that actually knew the answer.
Yeah.
Of course,
There you go.
I had no clue. I had no clue. But that's
smart
the way it
people
is
here.
in Tullahoma.
I love it. Hey, we've got a good show for you today, so don't go away. The studio is full of guests, and we're going to have a great time. Pay attention to our sponsors that are coming up right now, and we'll be right back.
Russell's got your truck, man. Russell's got your truck.
Keith Barnett here at the Russell Barnett Automotive family, and we have sold so many new trucks. We've got over 100 pre-owned trucks to choose from. Any make, any size, any model. It's as easy as going to russellbarnett.com to check out our pre-owned truck inventory. And remember, why buy your next truck anywhere else?
With the best selection anywhere, Russell's got your truck, man.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
She's doing well. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, I was carrying on a conversation with my next guest up here, who are with the Tullahoma Downtown Lions Club. Maybe are you with the Nighttime Lions?
I'm with the Tullahoma Lions Club.
Tullahoma Lions Club, and this to my left is Sydney, and I forgot her last name.
Hale.
Sydney Hale, and Eddie Smith, who is the immediate past president, I believe, of the Tullahoma Downtown Lions Club, and they're here today to talk about a project they've got going. But first of all, I would like to know, tell our audience a little bit about what you guys do. I guess both clubs are similar in what you do. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Basically, and this is our busy time of year, Jim. We're going into the elementary schools, middle schools, and we're going to high school to screen vision the children's eyes, which it's neat that early on you can find out any degenerative diseases that may be coming up or problems with the eyes. The camera apparatus that we have, just a split second, it'll actually give you a prescription and tell you exactly what's wrong with your eyes, and if there's any referrals or anything like that. So.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing that right now.
You guys also work with hearing too, do you not?
Absolutely, yes.
I remember that well because I was doing a story on that, a video story on that, probably 5 years ago, and the lady, I think it was Debbie Gamont, was she involved in that at one time? She's an audiologist.
I think
or something.
so.
But she says, well, why don't we show you how to do this? You sit down here and we'll test your hearing. And she says, hold up your hand when you hear this sound or something to that effect. I never heard a thing. I was pretty bad. But anyway, you learned a lot. But
Gary Overman and Tammy Overman spearhead that as far as our club, as far as the hearing aspect. And Miss Kathy Walker, she's in our club. She takes charge for the eye screen. So.
You guys, I think, also are involved in site conservation.
Yes.
Are you not? So
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Lions, one of the major pushes for Lions Club is site conservation, simply because we were back with Helen Keller. She actually commissioned the local Lions Club at the time to be Knights for Sight. So the hearing and the sight all actually goes back to Helen Keller as one of being a big push for us, which brings us really into the topic that we're talking about today, which is about diabetes, because diabetes is the leading cause of blindness in adults in the United States today.
No kidding.
Because its uncontrolled blood sugar affects the eyes, which leads to blindness.
Okay. And you guys I think, are doing a project jointly between the Nighttime.
Right.
They're the Tullahoma Lions Club,
Correct.
right? And this is the Downtown Lions Club, and that is for site conservation.
It is, because we're doing a 5K to raise funds for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. The reason why we chose the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation is we actually had locally in Manchester, there was a little girl who was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, which used to be known as juvenile diabetes, when she was, 18 months old?
Yeah, very young. Yeah.
She was like 18 months to 2 years old. So imagine a little bitty one whose body doesn't manufacture any insulin at all, suddenly needing insulin multiple times a day to be able to live.
Unbelievable.
And along those lines, the little girl she's speaking of, Jim, she has a dog, which through our efforts, this dog can let them know she's having a diabetic attack before it happens.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys are quite active in the Leader Dog program
Yes,
as well, and this is similar to that, I guess.
For the blind, yes, sir.
Yeah, unreal. Okay. And so you're raising money for juvenile diabetes, or to help
The research.
for the research of that. Is juvenile diabetes quite common? Or?
Type 1 diabetes is not as common as type 2. Type 2 is where the body is resistant to using the insulin that your body produces. Type 1 it can be seen as a more severe type simply because your body doesn't produce any insulin whatsoever. And so they literally are on a true regimen every day to make eating, medication, everything to keep them on a level keel.
You guys have always impressed me with how knowledgeable you and your members are about the projects that you guys take on, whether it be, as I said, hearing or sight conservation or whatever it is. You guys are so knowledgeable about that kind of thing.
We enjoy it. I equate it to just an extended family, Jim, because it takes a special kind of person to, make sometimes sacrifices to volunteer for particular things. And you've had us on before. We did everything from sight thing. We go into schools and read to little kids, do whatever volunteer work and contribute to, as John mentioned in your earlier sequence, as far as helping those in need in and around Tullahoma. So.
I forgot about the reading program. That's a neat thing. Tell us a little bit.
We're in the middle of that right now. Yes, sir. We go into elementary schools. We read to the kindergarten and first grade classes in all the elementary schools. And it's a blessing there. And what's neat is, of course, we've been doing this for a number of years now. And, I was out to eat lunch after church Sunday, and here comes this little boy up to give me a hug. I vaguely remember the face. He's in second grade, I think, at Robert E. Lee. You read to us last year, so it's neat, and to know that maybe you've had a little bit of effect on someone at an early age like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it takes some dedication, I know, for you guys to take time out of your busy schedule to go do that, and but I sort of get the feeling that you enjoy doing that.
It is.
You actually look like you do.
You get a feeling of satisfaction when you help somebody instead of going, oh, it's all about me. It's about them.
Right. A little bit more about the 5K, if you want to be involved in that. It's coming up when?
It's going to be September 15th. We are starting over here at the high school at Wilkins Stadium, and our path actually is going to come down the Greenway over to D.W. Wilson, head over to Bel Air, and back over to the high school. And it's called the Superhero Strides 5K because we're asking people to come as the superhero they are or as their favorite superhero. So they can come in costume or they can come just as they are, because for doing this, you are a superhero. And registration that day is starting at 7 o'clock, but we are also doing an online registration, which is found through www.racesonline.com. They just need to search for the Superhero Strides 5K.
Is this a competition where you have to run it, or can you actually walk it?
It's a fun one. It's a walk. You can run it if you want, but we've got plenty of time for people to be able to walk it and come back, and we're planning on having refreshments and everything else.
Okay, so that's you said it all there when you said it's going to be a fun thing, because and it's still good for you, whether you're walking it or running it. It's something good for you because you're going to get out and moving. Okay, and I know folks from past experience that you can trust either one of these Lions clubs to do the proper thing with the money. They're going to help a lot of people with the donations that you make through your participation in this 5K. Folks, thank you so much for coming by today. Always so nice to see you. You guys are always doing good stuff, and we're pleased that you're a part of our community. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for.
Thank you.
Always glad to help a good cause like this, really. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after this.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play. what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back. I'm here today with Miss Laurel Stone, and she is representing a huge baby shower.
Yes.
Coming up this week.
This Saturday at Northgate Mall.
What time's it start?
10 o'clock, 10 to 12 this Saturday.
And everybody's invited that knows anything or wants to know anything about having babies and having a baby and taking care of it and all the goods they might need. So what else happening?
Well, we will have a slew of informational and educational booths, all kinds of resources in the community that new caregivers and expectant families can get information and connect with resources. We will have refreshments. We have lots of door prizes,
Wonderful.
Including some grand door prizes.
Doesn't cost a penny to go in,
It
does
is
it?
free. You just go in the main door and register. When you register, you'll get what we call a bingo sheet, and we'd like you to go to each of the booths to check off something on your bingo card so you can qualify for the grand door prize.
That's cool. Do you want to tell us what the prize is, or is it a surprise prize?
They're surprise prizes, but they are very large, needed items.
Wonderful.
That cost people a little bit more, like car seats and strollers and pack and place, things like that.
I've often wondered about that because there's so much restrictions on what kind of car seat and how, and they're pretty expensive. So if you can win one of those, it would be fabulous.
Yeah, and speaking of car seats, the Tullahoma Police Department will be doing car seat safety checks out in the parking lot and make sure that we're doing everything right for those car seats to make sure the babies are safe.
I think that's very important information. It's been a long time since I had one, and we didn't have car seats in those days, so
exactly.
Yes, that's been a good thing. All right, opens 10 o'clock, lasts till 12, and I know you have sponsors. I know you have. Do you want to mention some of the?
Well, on the planning
ones?
committee, the sponsors, we've got the health department, we've got Centerstone, we have I'm with Child Care Resource and Referral, Tullahoma Police Department, Coffee County Anti-Drug Coalition, and Youth Villages.
That's quite a lineup. Tell me just a little bit about your department, Child Care Resources and Referral. What does that mean? Referral to what?
For child care and early childhood education, quality child care, we are contracted with the Department of Human Services to work with all the licensed child care facilities in the community and do training and professional development. And we also help parents to find child care, know what to look for when they're shopping for child care. So I will have a booth out with all of my information.
That's really good to know, because I was just reading yesterday about some places where child care, the children were getting abused, and do you all research some of that?
Well, there's licensing. There's a lot of different entities that work with all the licensed child care providers. Now, if they're unlicensed, we don't know where they are or what they're doing. But the ones that are licensed through the Department of Human Services, they have visits every year from the licensing just to make sure everything's going good. They also have annual evaluations called the assessment, and they are there all day observing them.
So you can be sure they're safe.
And I visit the child care facilities, so we've got a lot of really good child care facilities in our county.
Have you been doing this a long time?
12 years.
12 years. That's good.
Yeah.
So you know what you're doing.
I try.
Well, it sounds like an exciting event, and I would urge anybody that had a child or any questions that they would show up and find out, you don't have to have a reservation, so you just come.
You just show up and register at the door. And we do have a Facebook page if you want more information. And
what is that?
Like it and share it. Coffee County Community Baby Shower is the Facebook page.
Good. And you've done this for how many years now?
This is our third year.
And you've had a good turnout every year?
We've had good turnout every year, so
I always heard
hoping...
the third year was the biggest year.
Oh, okay.
If you could stick something out for 3 years, it will, lock in and people will start looking forward to it and make sure they're there.
Yeah, I think it's getting bigger and bigger every year.
Do you have children yourself?
No, I don't. I have lots of children in my life that I just love and take care of like my own.
And that's good. It's good to know that. So Saturday, August 25th, starting at 10 o'clock, lasting till 12. And if people don't know where Northgate Mall is, you want to give them an address? I don't know that I have it. I know it's on
North Jackson Street, Tullahoma.
Just walk in the front door, and you'll see Woodard's Diamond Showroom and all are up and down the...
And there'll probably be a fire truck out there and some other things out there to show that there's a big event going on that day. I'm not sure if it'll be on the marquee or not, but hopefully. But you'll see lots of cars, and I want to make sure a couple of other things that we're going to have as a Silly Kids yoga demonstration with Tammy Sturchak, and we'll also have some pediatricians and the fire department talking about safety and an expert talking about breastfeeding.
Wow. It seems like you can find out just about anything you want. And in all of this, is there references as to where people that maybe don't have a lot of money can get some help?
Yes. We have a lot of community resources that will be set up there just so that people in the community know what is out there to help them. For instance, the relative caregiver program for people that are taking care of children that maybe is a grandchild or a niece or nephew and not their own. They can connect you up with resources. The health department has lots of different programs that can help families out. Centerstone, they have a home visiting program, the Healthy Families. Head Start, of course, helps families.
Right.
All wraparound services. We have several different Head Starts in the county. Life Choices Pregnancy Center will be there. They can help people out with when you get your education, you get your baby bucks with them, and you can shop in their baby buck store for anything that you need. Who else helps out with things?
Can you tell me a little bit about what Centerstone does?
Centerstone, they have the Healthier Beginnings program. And they work with mothers starting from prenatal up until the babies are born. And as long as they are able to help that family out, they do home visiting and teach them about attachment and bonding and good, rich interactions, health and safety with those mothers, and try to make sure they know what all the resources are in the community. Some of the people I haven't listed on here, maybe a mom doesn't know that maybe she can get some help from Attic Outlet or the Good Samaritan,
and you go to Attic
or
Outlet
some other,
and get just brand new things that doesn't cost much money, or maybe it doesn't cost anything. I don't know. I've taken things there, and I've seen that they have lots of goods.
Yeah, so they make sure that the moms and dads and families know what all the resources are out there in the community. And same with the health department. We all try to work together because it takes a village to make sure that those babies have the best start that they can have.
And how sad for babies that don't have this wondrous beginning. So don't forget, Saturday the 25th at 10 o'clock till 12. Grab your baby, grab your mama, grab your grandma, grab everybody you can find, and come and get all the information you can, because a baby deserves a good start.
Yes, it does.
And
that's why we're here.
I admire you for this wonderful opportunity for people. So don't forget, it's Saturday.
Thank you for
Northgate
letting me
Mall.
share.
Thanks,
Okay.
Laurel.
Thank you.
We'll hope you'll come back soon. We'll be back with more.
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Hello, folks. We're back, and I'm happy to be here today. You know, I remember a show on television years ago that a lot of you older folks will remember. The younger ones won't, called Our Miss Brooks. And she was a teacher, and everybody loved Miss Brooks. Well, we've got in Tullahoma our Mr. Brooks, and that's Winston Brooks, who works with the city of Tullahoma. And we were talking a minute ago about having a segment with you that Winston's Wisdom.
Winston's Wisdom. I'm
to
feeling the
tell us
love.
all smart things that are going on in Tullahoma.
Well, I can tell you lots about what's going on in Tullahoma. There's so much activity going on. It's an exciting place to be.
Oh, it is.
And especially down here at the studio this morning.
Yeah, we're packed in here today.
It's great. What a great place to be. And the only thing, I need a Doodle Bop right here next to me.
Doodle Bop.
That's been the hottest segment going.
Doodle Bop's mama is on the mend, so Doodle Bop doesn't hang around quite as much as she was.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Well, how many miles have you been walking lately? You been walking some?
Me? Yes, I have been walking. I had knee surgery. I had knee scope about a month ago, and so part of my therapy, I took therapy at Life Care Center, is doing a lot of walking and bicycling, pedaling, and exercise.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear you're doing so much better.
Yeah.
Well, there's a great program coming up that you can sign up for.
Where are we walking this year?
We are going to walk the Appalachian Trail. You ever walked the Appalachian Trail?
Not all. I've walked some of it, but
what part?
I've not walked. It wasn't much. It was like 6 or 8 miles.
Just pulled off the side of the road?
No. My grandmother lived in Oak Ridge, and that's where I was born.
Oh, that's neat.
And my dad, like a lot of people, left Oak Ridge and came down here when Arnold Center was started.
Okay.
And so my brother and I would go back to Oak Ridge every year, and grandmother would take us to the mountains for a week.
That's neat.
So I've walked just about every trail in the mountains, been to the Chimneys 3 or 4 times, or the Mount LeConte, and we did walk some of the Appalachian Trail, but not so much as we couldn't get back to our hotel room that night.
Well, the Appalachian Trail is 2,158 miles long. It's the longest continuous trail in the Northern Hemisphere, I believe. And it's a great trail for people to go all the way from Georgia to Maine, whatever you do out there. But I've known some people that have hiked the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just 2 or 3 people. But so Parks and Rec and Get Fit Tullahoma and Mayor Curley are challenging the community now to walk the Appalachian Trail. And today is the first day to sign up, so we're looking for people to get their teams together. So you have 6-person teams and sign up. It's a totally free program.
You know, Winston, I noticed, and this amazes me about how this community has bought into this Get Fit program. And the first time we walked to across Tennessee.
That's it.
And I remember being in the football stands, and somebody was talking about a Tullahoma High School football game, and somebody was talking about, well, one wife said to the husband, well, how much did you walk today? Well, we walked this and we walked that. Well, all of a sudden, I heard somebody behind me say to her husband, well, they're ahead of us. We need to go home and walk tonight. And it was amazing how many people got involved in this program.
It's amazing what a little friendly competition
you went to the beach last year, didn't you?
We walked to the beach, and then we walked to the state parks, and now we
walking
the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, and Lyle Russell is the program director. He's the one heading it up. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with him at Parks and Rec. You can also go to our Facebook page and get all the details and link in, and you sign up online. You've got to come up with a creative name. So I know the interim city administrator, his team is called Jaywalking, which is appropriately named for the chief of police as well.
Right.
And also the captain of the police department. He's on that team as well. So we called them the Jaywalking team. So that'd be good. So you come up with a creative name, lots of people have fun, friendly competition, as you mentioned, but there's also lots of prizes. And again, it's a free program. We're going to have a end of the trail celebration party. It'll be down at D.W. Wilson. They'll have live music.
That's just so cool.
And new this year, Planet Fitness, if you just for participating, will give you a week free to work out in their facility. And one of the reasons they wanted to do that was because of the heat. They were like, well, if it's too hot for people to get outside and walk, particularly people maybe aren't used to being outside, come on down and they'll let you just tell them, give them your name, and they'll sign you up for 1 week free.
So I mean, even if you go somewhere and you're on a treadmill,
oh yeah,
you could count that because that counts miles.
That's right.
It?
That's right. And
so you could count those miles as part of your trip.
Some folks will have the Fitbits or the pedometers, and everything you walk that day counts. And so you report that on a weekly basis. Get your team captain. It's pretty simple to do. But we also, if you ride your bike or if you do aerobics or if you swim, there's a chart to
translates that
over to walking miles. Yeah. So a lot of people who do a lot of walking in their day, they end up topping the charts out there.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of walkers out there, that they're hard to beat. So we anticipate there's already about 300 people signed up, and they just started taking sign-ups yesterday. So
That's great.
You got to get in there and get your name on the list and start. Again, why not? If you're already, especially if you're already doing it. We also want people maybe who aren't comfortable doing a workout program at the gym or doing something like. We want to go for people who, hey, you know what? I want to do this. Just try to make a change. Something simple you can do. Everybody can walk.
Well, and the thing about it is we all sort of forget. Not all of us, but anything is better than nothing. And so just because somebody out there is going to, somebody will walk all 2,000 miles.
That's right.
But even if you do this and you only walk throughout the whole thing 10 miles, that's better than sitting in your chair and doing nothing.
Exactly.
It's making a start.
That's right. And that's the point, is making a change.
That's good.
Yes. So sign up. That'll actually start September 4th, but sign-ups are going on now. So you want to get ready, and it'll run into October. And everybody will get, when you sign up, you'll get weekly emails. There's going to be weekly walks on Tuesday evenings. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
What else is going on?
Man, we've got a great opportunity for the community to come out Monday night, August 27th, 4:30 p.m., a little earlier than normal, to meet and greet all the newly elected Coffee County officials. So a great time to network and get to know your elected officials, which is really important.
Where's that going to be?
It's going to be at City Hall before the board meeting.
Okay.
4:30 to 5:30. Be some refreshments, City Hall punch.
What color is it this year? It used to be green.
No, not green. It'll be just a nice punch color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Punch color. Maybe it'll be red.
We also have some fun announcements. You might have seen in the news that Tullahoma was named a Tennessee Downtown. So we had our first meeting with the Tennessee Downtown State people the other day, and some of the downtown representatives of the steering committee. We are looking for people to join that committee. If you have a downtown business or a property owner and want to get involved, contact me at City Hall. So what that means now is that because of the historic nature of downtown, we have been designated a Tennessee Downtown.
Good.
And we've got a $15,000 grant that we will spend, and based on that steering committee's recommendation. And once we do that, then we'll be eligible for a $100,000 facade grant, which again, that committee has to determine what project will be.
What happens there? Yeah.
And then hopefully, after 2 years of going through this process and doing this training, we'll become a Main Street downtown, a Main Street city, which will put us into the National Main Street program and puts us in position for a lot of other opportunities.
Okay.
So it'll be exciting.
Good.
And I guess we're out of time. I do want to mention Coffee Pot Friday night.
Yes, sir. Be there.
Coffee County Young Professionals will be tailgating at 5 o'clock down at the park.
Very good.
Excellent.
Winston Brooks,
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure,
Yes, sir.
my friend.
Good to see you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man Gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
I'm performing arts chairman for South Jackson Civic Center, and we're fixing to open our season with Triquetra, which is a Celtic dance, sing, everything you can imagine troupe, and we have a few seconds of their dancing, and we'd like for you to see their clip.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Rooster Wear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The Cock of the Walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman, and this is Pat Welch, John, and we're here for segment 41.
Yes.
Conversation with John and
41.
Pat.
We're glad to be here today. And the Vietnam War went on, and every community that I know about lost some people in their community, young men. And from Chapel Hill, there was one in particular, two lost their life, a Carl Gilbert and then a Johnny Sherfield. And Johnny Sherfield was a friend of mine, and he was going to be a farmer. Johnny loved machinery, he loved hay baling, he loved all that sort of farm life, and his parents were farmers, and you knew that was the line of work he was going into. But Vietnam changed that. And this little song about the Ballad of Johnny. The boy right this song about was once a friend to me. We were both from Chapel Hill, a town in Tennessee. His family owned a little farm, the only life he knew. And Johnny prayed that someday he'd own a small farm too. The day he left old Forest High, his fondest dream came true. He bought a John Deere tractor and an old hay baler too. He made his money baling hay and tucked it all away, saving for that little farm that he would buy someday. Then the war broke out in '61 and John was called away to a little post in Vietnam on the outskirts south of Way. He wrote his folks, I'm sending home the money that I earn, so I can buy that little farm the day that I return. But sometimes things don't work out for those we love the best. Like my old buddy Johnny, his soul now lays at rest. Killed in hostile action, he'll work the fields no more. He'll never buy that little farm that he was longing for. Johnny Sherfield.
That's one of your best, John.
His mama and daddy, Jack and Alice Sherfield. And that song right there, my mother did some sort of crochet, knitting, I don't know what she did, but that was on her door in the Sherfield house.
Wow. We've talked about doing the show before, John, and it isn't going to be easy, but we're going to get through it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we wanted to do it now is we've had a time of several different athletes refusing to stand for the national anthem, and we're not going to credit them by even mentioning their name, but I think we need to remember that the flag is due respect, not because it's of its material, but because it represents the values that our country holds dear, that everybody has dignity and worth, and that everybody has inalienable rights that can't be taken from them, and one of those, of course, would be liberty. And the flag to a veteran and to the present serving military is precious. They're defending not the material, they're defending the values of our country that no one else in the world, I think, can equal. And there's time periods where, you know, we've talked before in battle that somebody would be carrying the flag, and they were proud to do it, knowing that also made them an instant target. And there's battles been fought where the flag bearer would, one after another, there'd be 8 or 10 killed, one right after another. The picture at Iwo Jima of the 4 gentlemen raising the flag. The flag is important, not because of itself, but because of the values that it represents. And to a military person, that means a whole lot. So when I think when we don't stand for the national anthem, we don't show respect to the flag, and in a way we've disrespected all of our veterans. Many have given their lives for those people.
Many of our ancestors, too.
Yeah. And that brings us today to a little story that I want to talk about that, again, like John, your friend, and he died in defending the city of Way, and I believe that was spelled H-U-E, but it was pronounced Way, and this Kenny Banks, our friend Kenny Banks, served in that area in the defense of Way. I want to talk a little bit about Susan Warwick today. She worked with me for about 20 years at the Builder Supply, and also about 10 years at Southern Community Bank. And when the topic of Vietnam came up, mostly at the Builder Supply, it met with a lot of resistance, and there was something about it that bothered her, and she wasn't about to get involved in any kind of conversation. And I finally found out that she'd lost a brother in Vietnam, and I guess it was about 3 years ago. I knew she had moved here from New Jersey, that she grew up in New Jersey, and I assumed that her brother was buried there. And so I found out going to visit one of our sons in New Jersey that her hometown is Bordentown, which is a small, idyllic looking, like a postcard kind of New England type town in New Jersey. It was real close to where John was living, and so I didn't think much more about it till he wanted to go to see Atlantic City. So we came back around, and we were going right through the town. So I thought, I'm going to see if we can find the cemetery. And the cemetery is a focal spot in town, had Revolutionary soldiers all the way up to the recent times, to the Middle East soldiers that were buried there. And I thought, this is going to be impossible. But John, it took me 5 minutes to find his grave. And go ahead, if you don't mind, Philip, and show that grave marker that we found. And if you can see the dates, Susan's maiden name was Thorne. Her brother's name was Joseph M. Thorne, and known to the family as Joey. And if you look at his birth date and then his death date, you'll see that he was 18 years old. And I believe it's May 31st of 1968 that he lost his life. And that should have been either his graduation day or his graduation from high school day, give or take 3 or 4 days on either side of it, and it really touched me. And so I took these pictures and did a little research on the internet about him, and went to see her, of course, real early in the morning. I made sure I was just going to be me and her at the bank, and she knew I had gone to her hometown, and she suspected I'd been to that cemetery. But when I showed her the pictures, she immediately became very emotional. And when she saw my reaction to that, she said, it's still so fresh. It's still so fresh. John, it was 46 years since she lost her brother. And she opened up then and told me that she had 2 brothers in Vietnam at the same time, and that the officer came to the door, down the sidewalk to their door, and dressed in his dress uniform, and so they knew. Her mother and her saw him coming, and the mother knew what was going to happen, and she started crying, which one, and Susan told her it was Joey, and she collapsed. And then Susan had to go upstairs and wake her father, who was still in bed, and let him know that he lost his son. And he's buried, of course, there where I found him. And her mother, every day, following the burial of her son, walked from her house to that graveyard every single day until just before she died. She had cancer, and when she's bedridden was the first time that she could not go to that grave. And that had this whole story had an incredible impact on me. And as sad as it was, we rejoiced about where Joey is now, and we rejoice and are so thankful that he gave his life. But as touched as she was, and as touched as her family continues to be, he was one of 58,000 people that gave their lives in Vietnam, and now I know that I didn't realize until you sang the song again that Johnny gave his life the same place that Joey did. Yeah. And we need to remember that when the flag is presented, when the national anthem or Pledge of Allegiance is called on,
and revere our servicemen too.
We need to remember the pain that so many people have gone through to uphold the role, the values of that flag, not the flag itself, but the values that it stands for. And this has been a tough thing for me to get through, John. But
you did a good job, Pat. Well done.
Thank you, and I hope this wasn't too hard on Susan and her family, because it was tough on me. And that closes 41. Down 41.
Yes,
and
that's right.
We can hardly wait to get calmed down and go to 42. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm happy today to have the new director of the Tullahoma Arts Center on with us, Tina Shang, and welcome.
Thank you very much.
When did you take that position over?
The first of this month.
First of this month.
Yeah, just getting my feet wet.
Good for you. Well, we're so glad to have you here because, you know, Miss Peggy over there, she's been involved with South Jackson Civic Center forever, and we love our nonprofits, and we love the Civic Center, the Art Center, and we love them all, but the Civic Center, the Art Center, and the Science Center, that's the big three that bring people to the community.
Well, and you just had Winston on with Art Council.
Art Council, yeah, and we believe in that because, you know, when the Art Center has the National Watercolor Show, buses come from Atlanta and Nashville, and I mean that brings business into town.
Absolutely,
it's very important. Who do you have out there right now at the center?
We have Michael Bush, and it's a Mirror on America. It's a really provocative show with get you thinking about what's going on in society today. So homelessness, violence, the glass ceiling, which is, you know, for a woman, it's amazing to see that piece by a man in the show. I mean, it's just really get you thinking. Wonderful show, amazing artist. All of his work is wonderful, but this is really about what's happening in society today. You know, I think his hope was to bring not children, but young adults and middle school, high school children in with their teachers just to get conversations going. You know, we can't make a change in society if we don't acknowledge what's happening.
And Mike talked to me about that a couple of years ago. We talked, and when he was just starting that, and he said, what he wanted to do, and I know he's been to several colleges. And had parts of that show in colleges,
I think,
and in the classroom, to where these young people can say, I can identify with that, or what's going on here, and it's an educational show.
Children are not sheltered like they used to be from things that are going on. You know, used to, kids didn't watch the news, and so they weren't really aware of things that were going on, shootings, mass shootings and that kind of thing. But with the internet and, you know, we're such a mobile society now, everything's right in front of you all the time. So we can't shelter them like we used to.
No,
so we need to have those conversations.
Understand the goods and bads and the rights and wrongs. And this is the show that helps that. How long is it going to be there?
It ends this month, at the end of this month. Let's see, I have it here. I knew I wouldn't remember dates. So October 3rd. Is the takedown date. But then August 29th is the takedown date. Phase 2 of his show is coming right after that, though. So that will be the opening date, September 9th for that one. And that is called, I wrote it down. let me find it. Reflective Conversations, I think. And again, so it's just an extension of what's there now. I believe phase 2 is at Columbia University or some university right now.
Michael's a friend, and Michael's been around. He lives down outside of Bell Buckle, and local guy. Although he worked in Hollywood and California for years, painting movie sets, and he's an incredible guy and a very interesting man. And go see this. This is worth your time to go to the Art Center. And what are the times during the week, and what are the days that someone can go to the Art Center?
So the Art Center is open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 1 to 5, and then Saturday 10 to 2. So we'd love for you to come out. If you're a teacher, we would love for you to bring your students on a field trip and come let them view this art and have those conversations. Parents as well, of course. It's really, not necessarily appropriate for the very young unless a parent's going to be there and converse with them.
Is there going to be an opening party or evening with Michael?
The opening is September 9th for phase 2. The opening for this one was August 4th, so it's already
what
passed.
Time will that be?
I don't know. It's not on here.
But so that's usually in the evening.
Usually, I think the last one was at 6, but don't hold me to that. Like I said,
we'll know. We'll find out and let you know.
Well, you can check the website, tullahomaart.org. So all the information will be on there of what's there currently and what's coming up. So check that, and our Facebook page, of course, will we'll get it out to the media and everything and let you know.
And the art show at South Jackson did good.
Yes, it did well. We're happy to have that back.
Yes.
And looking forward to building on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did well.
Well, I everything I heard, I was in a physical state that I couldn't go. I had some problems walking at that point.
Right.
And but I drove by and saw, and it looked like there were a lot of people there and a lot of vendors there, and it's just so wonderful to see that, because that was such a vibrant part of our community for years and years.
Right.
That weekend was just magical.
Yeah, and this is the 50th year for
Right.
the Art Center. You know, so we're looking to build on that legacy that you and all of the artists and the people who started this center, you know, we want to build on that. And then, of course, we want to go outside of that. So we want to bring more people in. Part of the mission for the Art Center is accessibility. We believe that art is for everyone. So we want to make it accessible. Inclusion and diversity is important. So we want to get more people in, more diversity in our shows, and more programs so that, you know, there's
And
more things for you to
members.
do.
What's a membership
Absolutely
cost?
members.
What's a membership cost?
I think it's $50. There's different levels
Yeah, you can have a
depending
family,
on
a single, or whatever.
Right, and
That's
then
on the
senior,
website.
right, all of that's on the website. And I didn't write everything down, so.
But you know, it's that, and sort of like South Jackson. What's the membership there, Peggy? $35?
It's not a lot.
Something like that, but
Yeah, 50
but, you know,
is not for the single. I think that's the family.
Yeah, it's a
member.
family. These things are needed in this community, and the easiest way. And people say, "Well, I didn't know that was happening." Well, if you were a member, you would, because you'd get emailed about all this stuff, and you know, it just doesn't cost that much, and you're helping this community stay vibrant and cultural. In the
Right.
cultural side of it.
Absolutely. I mean, art is all about the culture and what's happening in society. I mean, if you look back in your art history, you can tell kind of what was going on in society by
Every
what the art
society,
is,
yeah.
right? And so it's really important. You know, art, there's research that shows that art helps academically. If kids are involved in the arts, they do better in math and science.
Right,
So, you know,
right.
so it's just a wonderful thing, and we do try to keep everything affordable.
Yes.
For, you know, for the region that we live in. So, and we'll do better at letting people know what's coming up
Yeah,
before
and,
time.
you know,
I know
that's
that's always an issue.
But there are a lot of programs that go on down there for children and for different types of art and things that you'll
Right.
keep us advised of.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
You know, we have classes. We have music, guitar and piano right now. There's painting classes. There's an after-school program on Wednesdays because our schools get out at 1 on Wednesdays. So
Right.
there's an after-school program at 1 for children to come and learn art.
Very good.
And you know, they do a variety of things. A couple of kids were painting rocks last Wednesday, and then one of the kids was making a pirate ship. So it's amazing to watch their their creativity.
Yeah, I'm a pirate. I think that's pretty
He
cool.
made amazing sails out of stuff that was just laying around. You know, the sails rolled up and everything. It was wonderful
It's incredible,
to watch.
isn't it? How talented young people can be. Tina, thanks for coming.
Thank you so
and
much.
Welcome to the village,
Thank
and
you,
we
I
look forward
appreciate
to
it.
hearing from you and seeing you just more often. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Make
you so
sure
much.
don't be a stranger.
I won't be.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked the tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Ikonen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Becky Buller is been on the show numerous times, and she is up for 8 International Bluegrass Awards this year. And she sent me this clip of a little event they're going to play for, and it is to raise awareness for clean water. And I think all the funding that goes from this will be sent to Africa to supply water. It's a pretty cool little piece. Let's watch it right now.
Oh, you get a pole, I get a line, honey. You get a pole, I get a line, babe. You get a pole, I get a line.
Down to the Summitville United Methodist Church fish fry.
Honey, baby.
Come on down Saturday, August 25th to the Summitville United Methodist Church Fish Fry in Summitville, Tennessee. We're going to have fish, we're going to have bluegrass music with the Becky Buller Band, and it's just $10. That was fishy.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever. You'll be holding me too.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is, The Final Session, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is, The Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
What's going on?
What's going on is on the
Art
9th,
Center.
the Civic Center.
Civic Center.
And Art Center's had Michael
Yeah.
Bush. I love him.
Yeah.
We still have some artwork by him at the Civic Center.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the 9th of September, we're having a Sunday afternoon concert. Michelle Anderson is coming home from far away to play the piano for Erica Wonder, who has a fabulous voice. And she'll be doing an afternoon concert September 9th, 2:30. And we encourage you to come out. It's only $10. And the reason I want Erica to do a concert is because she works with so many young people. And so all her time gets spent teaching school, working with kids, putting them on the stage, and I want us to showcase her talent. She is fabulous.
Well, and it would be good for these kids to be able to come and hear what their teacher really can do.
She will do an opera segment for like the first act, and then we'll have a short intermission, and she'll do a Broadway segment. So I'm looking forward to that, September 9th.
That's great. That's just great. You know, because she and Eric do the summer camp.
They do summer camp
at South Jackson.
Performing arts for children and teen.
And stuff like that.
They've done a lot for bringing in young people into the Civic Center. I appreciate it. And Eric played drums for me on Country Show.
Yes, he did, and he did an outstanding job.
I'm so used to seeing him back on the sound set, and it was neat seeing him center stage playing the drums.
I didn't realize he was that good. He's a pretty good little drummer.
He's a great drummer, yeah,
you know,
he really is.
Now, they're very talented young people, and that's what they have. Eric and Erica have sort of bought into the program at South Jackson Civic Center,
and they're givers.
And that's what we need young people to do all over town with our different nonprofits, the Science Center, the Arts Center, South Jackson. It's time for these young people to get involved and find out how it operates, because we're not going to be here forever.
I think that so many good things are happening at South Jackson right now. It's I can't believe we have such a beautiful parking lot. I mean, that has touched my heart.
Oh, yeah.
And we are going to have a black box theater, so there will be smaller events in that theater. There's going to be, I believe, an outdoor setup where you can have outdoor things, lots of things happening. And I'm glad that maybe I'll leave this world
a better place.
A better place. No, it always makes me feel good when I see growth in something I love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and one of the things I'm looking forward to is moving the concession stand back into another room to where that whole front area will be open to where you can have a small theater and have dinner theater there.
I love that.
Isn't that great? That'll be fun. Hey, what was fun for me is I wrote a song with my writing buddy Tim Daly up in Nashville one day, and I'll explain that on this little video clip. But he came with the idea of chicken and dumplings. We go together like chicken and dumplings.
I love it.
So we wrote Chicken and Dumplings, and Peggy allowed us to sing that on the South Jackson Country stage this year, and Fran and I did that, and it was a lot of fun. It's a pretty infectious little song. I apologize for the sound because the sound has a little echo in it. It was the camera was, it's just camera sound from up in the balcony, so that's enough said about that. But it was fun to do, and we had a good time doing it. So we're going to close the show today with Chicken and Dumplings. We'll see you next time.
Well, 44 years ago, I guess, in September, to find the right woman. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen that way, but it did for me. And on our 19th wedding anniversary, I wrote a song for her. And 20 years after that, this guy named Ray Price found that song and recorded it on his last album that he ever did, titled Cut. And the day that I got to go to Nashville to hear that at Anchordown Records, Anchordown Music on 17th, I had a songwriting buddy who lives in Dixon, and he and I have written a lot of stuff together. Met me over there, and he said, I've got an idea. And I said, what idea is that? And he said, chicken and dumplings. Chicken and dumplings? He said, yeah, we go together like chicken and dumplings. Well, you remember Forrest Gump, that girl that he loved, Jenny? They were like peas and carrots. Well, Fran and I are like chicken and dumplings. So we're going to do chicken and dumplings for you guys. Hit it. everybody.